الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في الكتاب الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال عز وجل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وقال سبحانه وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم آمين. أما بعد. We begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by praising Him and by glorifying Him. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah to shower this gathering with His mercy and to make it a source of forgiveness and blessings for us. Now, alhamdulillah, one of the things that our scholars have said that the human beings, sometimes we underestimate this creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. When Allah created Adam alayhi salam, the angels, they disputed, they disagreed, they objected, and they questioned. You know, our scholars said this: أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَا يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدَّمَاءَ. Ya Allah, you're going to create this creation, they're going to shed blood and cause corruption. And they had some knowledge about the nature of human beings. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam, He made him His Khalifa. He made Adam alayhi salam the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He taught Adam alayhi salam the names. And Adam, being given the names, was able to teach the angels things the angels had no idea about. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the angels, didn't I tell you, I know something about this creation, you don't? And so He commanded the angels to bow down. All the angels bowed down that were in that gathering. Our scholars said in some of the tafsir that those angels who bowed down to Adam alayhi salam, they never got back up. They stayed in that state because Adam alayhi salam, his reality is still here. And that is in the nature of every single human being. You have the potential to be the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth. You have the potential to be the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We created the human being in the best of states, in the highest of statures, better than all other creation. لَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah says, we have honored the children of Adam. And then what happened? With our choices, with our actions, we can lower our standards, we can lower ourselves to asfal as-safilin, to be the lowest of the low. And may Allah protect us from that. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was sent to us as the example to follow. He was sent to us as the one to emulate, as the one to follow and imitate. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his sunnah that he brought was of two kinds. There was the outward sunnah, the way the Prophet ﷺ behaved when people saw him, the way he spoke, the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he dealt with people, his smile, ﷺ. These are all outward things. People could see, this is what the Prophet ﷺ is like. And then there was an inward reality to the Prophet ﷺ, which he also taught the Sahaba, how to have, you know, the heart, what kind of feelings to have, what kind of thoughts to have. And the Quran says, stay away from sins. مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. Stay away from sins, whatever is outward of it, whatever is open and apparent of it, and whatever is hidden and secret. Our scholars said, so when you adhere to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, there is an outward sunnah and there is an inward sunnah. The outward sunnah, you know, it's very clear. It's to adhere with the sharia. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us laws. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a way of life. And so, to live your life according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for us. to follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in establishing the prayer, in giving charity, and doing acts of kindness, and keeping ties of kinship. All of that is an adherence to the Sharia. Your business transactions, make it halal. Right? Don't rip people off, don't rob people. All of this is the outward form. And there is no problem, alhamdulillah, this is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But the danger sometimes, if the outward is in complete compliance with the Sharia, but there's a problem in the inward, there's a huge problem. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us examples about what the mushrikeen and the munafiqeen had in common. إن المشركين والمشركات والمنافقين إن المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات الظانين بالله ظن السوء عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم ولعنهم وأعد لهم جهنم. Allah says, definitely the hypocrite man and hypocrite woman, the mushrik man, the mushrik woman, all of them, the ones who have evil thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They used to entertain vile thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared the punishment in His anger. So, the munafiqeen, of course, they're not like the mushrikeen. The mushrikeen were openly engaging in the sins. And you could see, from the outward, they're not in adherence to the Sharia. What about the munafiqeen? Outwardly, they look like they're in adherence to the Sharia. But inwardly, they were the same as the mushrikeen. Inwardly, they were far away from guidance. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us outward realities and inward realities. Every one of us here. We have an outward reality. When people see you, we have a reputation. Right? You have a reputation. People know you as somebody who has this qualities. You have certain attributes that is associated with you. And then there are secret things about you that only you know and Allah knows. Right? And Imam Ali radiallahu anhu used to say, make sure your acts of worship that is done in secret is better than your acts of worship that is done publicly. Because that defines who you are in secret, your batin, your internal reality. And our Prophet ﷺ, he was teaching the Sahaba that if you really want to get close to Allah, you want to achieve heights, the work to be done, outwardly we have a lot of limitations. There are a lot of things you want to do but you cannot do. Everybody here wants to be a great servant of Allah, wali of Allah, chosen ones. Everybody wants to perform karamat, but you know what? There's a lot of limitations Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed upon us. But inwardly, the Prophet ﷺ said, you can achieve heights with Allah with your intentions. You would never be able to do with your actions. One Sahabi sitting in the masjid, Prophet ﷺ visited the masjid, he saw the man sitting Dhuhr time, they prayed, and he left, came back. Asr time, the person is still there, he said, what's going on? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I was thinking about things and I thought, I really missed you. He said, well, we just prayed together. He said, no, Ya Rasulullah, that's not what I'm talking about. He said, I'm thinking on the day of judgment, you are the messenger of Allah, you're going to be in a very high place. I don't even know if I'm going to make it. I don't have good deeds like Abu Bakr, like Umar, all these people. I don't have anything like that. I don't know if I'm going to be with you or not. The Prophet ﷺ said, you will be with the ones you love. You'll be with the ones you love. Loving, developing this in the hearts. This is an internal reality. You cannot tell. Can I say, show me your love? People write books about it, 5 languages of love, all that stuff. Eventually, when it comes down to it, you cannot pull it out and show somebody you love them. It's something you have inside. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the believer who has this for Allah and His Messenger, they are with Allah and His Messenger. Right? The Prophet ﷺ in another hadith, he talked about the people that made hijrah. Somebody came and said, this person made hijrah to marry Qais. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, all the actions will be judged based on their intentions. So whoever made hijrah for Allah and His Messenger, their hijrah was for Allah and His Messenger. Whoever made hijrah to attain some worldly benefit or to marry some woman, then their hijrah was for that. The scholars have said, this secret in this hadith is everything you do, if it's done with the intention for Allah, it's an act of worship. The fact that the Sahaba were in Medina for Allah, they slept, it was an act of worship for them. They went to work, it was an act of worship for them. They were sitting with their families, it was an act of worship for them. Because why are they in Medina? For Allah and His Messenger. Right? A person fell sick. and he had his son ask to build a window for him so he could get fresh air. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam visited the man and he said, "Oh, nice window." The man said, "Yes, Ya Rasulullah, since I can't move, I wanted some fresh air." He said, "Had you made the intention so that you could hear the adhan better when Bilal calls the adhan?" He said, "You would have gotten your fresh air, but that window, as long as it's here, you would have gotten good deeds for that too." Right? So, what's now important for us to reflect on is, as believers, when we do our external actions and outward things, there's a lot of limitations, but inwardly the sky is the limit. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, because we don't even know our potential. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us representatives of His representatives on this earth. So He told us sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you ask Allah for Jannah, don't ask for random corner in Jannah. Don't go say, "Ya Allah, just get me into Jannah." No. Ask for Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la, the highest Jannah, Firdaus, and ask for the highest part of Firdaus al-A'la. Why? Because you're asking the one who can give. So set your intentions high, aim very high, internally. Even if your actions cannot get you there, the fact that you have that intention, you can make it. And to realize that everything you do should be for Allah. There's a narration. There was two people, stonemasons, carrying bricks, putting them down, carrying bricks, putting them down. Somebody came interviewing them and said, "What are you doing?" The first one said, "It's my job. I'm a mason. I carry bricks and I put it down." He said, "Oh, okay, good." Asked the second one, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm building a cathedral." Right? Look at that. Doing the same thing. One of them has the vision that he's building something big. He's part of something amazing. The other one, "I'm just putting bricks. Just putting bricks." You go to work every day. You deal with your family every day. What are you doing? "I'm stuck in traffic." Another person, "What are you doing?" "I'm providing for my family halal food so that Allah is pleased with me." Right? Somebody makes dua, "Ya Allah, give me a car. Ya Allah, give me a car. Ya Allah, give me a car." Fine. He wants a car. Somebody else makes a dua, "Ya Allah, give me a car. Ya Allah, give me a car. Ya Allah, give me a car." One of it is an act of worship. The other one is just requesting for a car. How? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be asked. So this man is making dua, not because he needs the car. Yeah, he could use the car, it's a mercy from Allah, but he's asking Allah because he knows Allah loves to be asked. And so his asking of Allah is a way high level of worship than the other one who's saying, "I want a car." He has no care about pleasing Allah or not. He wants the car, the job, the house, this, that. So when you set the intentions, when you work on the heart, the Prophet ﷺ was teaching us something. He got up in the Fajr time. He asked, "Who went to visit a sick person today?" Abu Bakr said, "Me, Ya Rasulullah." He said, "Who gave charity today?" Abu Bakr said, "Me, Ya Rasulullah." Who followed the janazah today? Abu Bakr said, "Me, Ya Rasulullah." Who did this today? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, "Me, Ya Rasulullah." Who did that today? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, "Me, Ya Rasulullah." They had competition. And all the other Sahaba are like, "Man, we can't compete with Abu Bakr. Look at him. Everything the Prophet listed, he already did. And it's not even, like, Fajr hasn't finished yet." Right? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is beating everyone. And then the Prophet ﷺ, after the questioning, he said, Abu Bakr has the level he has with Allah. As-Siddiq. He has that level he has with Allah, not because of these actions, but because of what's in his heart. Because of what's in his heart. Now, our scholars said that when you look at Surah Al-Fatiha, there is an ayah, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Who are those أنعمت عليهم? Our scholars said in another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies, النبيين والصديقين والشهداء صالحين. What's the lowest level? Salihin. What's the highest level? No? Nabi, the prophets. Right? So the prophets, you don't have a choice. No one chooses to be a prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses the prophets himself. He created everything. He says, this man is a prophet, Yaqub is a prophet, Ishaq is a prophet, Ayub is a prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors the people that are worthy of that with prophethood. So no one can attain prophethood by their actions. But what about the second one, Siddiqeen? Do you have the potential? Can you aim for that? Can you work towards that? Yes. People have aspirations. They say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Did you hear Shuhada have the top 100 levels of Jannah? They don't feel the pain of that except like the sting of a mosquito. And so we see all these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever dies shaheed, for example, whoever dies shaheed, they have top 100 levels of Jannah. Right? The earth does not eat from their bodies. So you see YouTube videos, they dig up the body, 30 years old, 50 years old, looks like the person is asleep. You're like, oh, I want that. That's such an honor. There is a level above that, Siddiq. Right? And the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it a possibility for us, He says, وَمَا مَنَعَ النَّاسَ أَن يُؤْمِنُوا. What's holding people back from having iman? Right? And our scholar said, when you dive into that ayah, that means there's a way forward. There's a way to move forward. Somebody who's in a state of kufr, as a kafir, they can take a step and say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and now they're what? A Muslim. So Allah's saying, what's holding them back from saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and making that step forward? And somebody's a Muslim, right? What's stopping them from taking a step forward and being from amongst the salihin, the righteous people? Right? Maybe they're sinners. If somebody is a righteous person, what's stopping them from taking a step forward and being amongst the select and the elect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, amongst the khas? Right? And somebody's amongst the awliya, what's stopping them from taking a step forward and being from the ones Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes, as-sabiqun, as-sabiqun, ulaika al-muqarrabun, the close ones to Allah. What's stopping you? What's holding you back? Right? And sometimes the answer is, if you just look at your life, may not be in the external things. It may be what? In the internal things. Where are you aiming? In archery, they said if you want to hit that target, aim above it. Why? Aim higher. Why do you aim higher? Because gravity is pulling down, right? There's distractions of dunya, there's distractions of this, there's forces of shayateen always working through people, inside you. Min sharri waswas al-khannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudur an-nas. There's all these forces trying to pull you down. So if you aim high, you want to go all the way to the level of Siddiq, what happens? Maybe you'll get it there. Maybe Allah will reward you that. Maybe you will make it to the level of shaheed. Maybe you'll make it to the level of a salih person. But the fact that you aim high, you want to achieve, a man said, when you go to the court of a king, who's so generous, he says, everyone come and ask of me. And you go there and you ask for $5. He's got his treasures open. He says, I just want $5. Is that insulting to that king? Of course. I'm willing to set you up for life and you come here and ask me for $5. Right? The generous one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting, and He can give. And sometimes we look at ourselves and we say, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Who said we deserve anything? Everything you have is gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't look to yourself as to what you deserve, what you can, look to the one who's generous, who's willing to give. You want that high level, Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la? The Prophet said, ask for that. And Allah can give it. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the highest levels of iman. قُلِ قَوْلِ هَذَا أَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ وَلَكُمْ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. So, working on our hearts and achieving the high levels with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to adhere to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, outwardly and inwardly. One of the biggest dangers Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that can hold a person back is to have diseases in the heart. Most dangerous of them is arrogance, kibr. Right? And what is arrogance? The Prophet ﷺ, when he said, لَنْ يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ مَنْ قَالَ فِي قَلْبِهِ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ مِنْ كِبْرٍ. No one will enter Jannah if they have even a grain of kibr in their heart. Sahaba got scared. They said, Ya Rasulullah, we like to dress nice and wear good shoes and, is that it? He said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Look nice. Allahu Jameel, yuhibbul Jamal. Allah is beautiful. And He loves beauty. You want to dress up? You want to drive a nice car? That's not kibr. You want to have a big house? That's not kibr. What is kibr? Kibr is to have hatred towards people in your heart. Kibr is to have hatred towards people in your heart and to reject the truth. When truth has been made clear, to turn around and play games and blame and do other things and to reject the truth. So, to batar al-haq wa ghamta al-nas. To reject the truth and to have hatred toward people. Sometimes it shows up in different forms. People have hatred because of ethnicities. Oh, this person is from that ethnic group or that ethnic group, he's from this country, he's from that country, they're all like this, and you come up with these stereotypes and discriminations. That's a disease in the heart. That needs to be purified. Right? Sometimes it's because of social status. This person, look at what he drives, and he's going to come and talk to me about the deen and Allah. What does Allah do to him? Right? This is kibr. Sometimes people have kibr because of the blessings Allah gave them. Someone has a lot of knowledge. Someone has a lot of wealth. Someone has a lot of abilities. And they look at others and they look down on them. They say, this person doesn't know anything. What knowledge does this person have? Who is he to talk to me like this? That's kibr. Right? So, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, this was one of his qualities. The Prophet ﷺ told us that he didn't attain the levels he has with Allah, not because of his actions, but he attained it because of what? What's in his heart. So, if you have the heart of a Siddiq, and you work on it, then it's easy. The sky is the limit. Even if you cannot act, even if you cannot do the actions of the people of Siddiq, you will have the maqam of Siddiqeen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Him it's easy to give that. And we ask Allah to make all of us amongst the righteous servants that He has chosen, amongst the elect and the select, and the foremost of the awliya. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower us with His mercy, to remove all the diseases from our hearts. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the courage to overlook each other's mistakes. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the courage to mend our relationships, our families, our homes. We ask Allah, Ya Rabbal Alameen, to remove the shayateen from our lives, Ya Allah. We ask You to strengthen our marriages, Ya Allah, between husbands and wives, between brothers and sisters, between parents and children, Ya Allah. We ask You, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, You are the most merciful, the most kind. We ask You to accept our fast, accept our prayers this Ramadan, Ya Allah, and grant us Ramadan after Ramadan, Ya Allah. We ask You, Ya Rabbal Alameen, anyone going through hardships, Ya Allah, grant us the patience to confront it, Ya Allah. Grant us ease, Ya Allah, and allow us to pass the test without ruining our iman, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, all good is in Your hands, Ya Allah. Choose us amongst Your righteous servants, Ya Allah. And don't let us die except with the last words, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala sahbihi ajma'in, wa akhiru da'wana, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Aqimus salam.